Good morning. How is everyone today? It is Wednesday. And I slept pretty good last night. And I can't say that very often because I haven't been sleeping very well lately. Okay, so yesterday I went and met with my therapist. And I don't mind sharing things that I talk about with my therapist because I really feel like I have been given this opportunity of a voice. So I want to share my experiences with others. I want to let you guys know that everything's going to be okay. And really hit upon kind of that ugliness that nobody wants to talk about. Now I'm learning more about trauma. So I'm not, a professional on it. I'm in the learning stages. So if I get things wrong, or if I don't, if someone's a professional out there and they're like, that's trauma, duh, that's fine, but I'm learning about it. Okay. So I went through several years of chronic stress. Our whole family did. But it was very much like middle class stress. Which I guess I shouldn't classify it as middle class, but maybe third world problems, stress. So, and I know I've talked about this before, but if you're new today, so bankruptcy, both my husband and I were in a couple car accidents that resulted in major injuries. We moved 3 times. People close to us had died. My son was hospitalized. We had our identity stolen. Just so many things, creditors, everything that comes with bankruptcy and not being able to pay your bills and all that stress. So it was everyday stress. So all of that kept happening again and again and again and again and again over a span of maybe 5 years. So chronic stress for 5 years results in trauma. And yesterday when I was talking to my therapist, and this is why you need to find a sounding board. And I'm not talking about your best friend who knows all the deep, intimate, dark secrets about you, or a sibling. You need to talk to somebody who is not emotionally connected to your situation, who can unravel what's going on and sort it out to help you heal and get better. So my therapist, she's amazing, and she's a new therapist for me, because I had another therapist who I absolutely loved, but she was very much helping me with working with my son, who's on the autism spectrum. So it was very autism and mom focused. So once we kind of got him down in terms of his autism, then what happened was I needed somebody just for me as Elizabeth. Not Elizabeth the mom, but Elizabeth the woman. Okay, I digress. So, good morning, Phil. So what I'm talking about today is trauma, and that I had third world stress. So I had bankruptcy, all the financial things that come with that. We moved, people died, car accidents, stress, anxiety. My son was hospitalized, major big stressors. So when I met with my therapist yesterday, she had mentioned something about like, oh, so during the holidays, that probably brings up a lot of stress. And I sat and thought for a second. And, you know, like my stress right now, or my stress every day is not related to the holidays. It's related to the everyday. So what I discovered yesterday was it was in phone calls. Creditors used to call my phone, like, I'm not even kidding you, like 30, 40 times a day. The everyday stresses of opening up the refrigerator and not having any food in it to pack a lunch for my kid, or, you know, not being able to get gas, like finding money to put gas in the car, hiding my car so that the repo person doesn't come and get it, trying to figure out how to get our electricity turned on, thinking of what we're going to sell in our home to turn our electricity on. So those are everyday. It's not like we can't buy Christmas presents for our kids and we're stressing out. It's like everyday living was the stress, horrible stress. So I'm not saying that, I'm not sharing this with you like to feel bad for me, because there's so many other people in the world that have life so much worse. You know, there's abuse and there's sex trafficking and there's horrible things being done to people. But what I'm saying is the people that I run into in my daily life, those are the stresses that they're dealing with. And when life, it's not like a traumatic event, it's just like your phone ringing brings you stress and anxiety. So we also touched upon, I wanted to talk about like my relationship with food, because I never really had a bad relationship with food. Like I ate healthy and I'd like splurge now and then, but I never really like mindlessly ate. And then what happened was we didn't have a lot of food during that time. So we went to like a food pantry and, you know, we just didn't have a lot to eat. And I found myself, and my mother had pointed this out, like when we would go places and my kids wouldn't finish their food, I would eat the rest of their food, because I thought, well, if we don't have like a lot to eat tonight, like I'm just going to eat this and then it'll sustain me for a little bit longer. So I would, because I appreciated the fact that this food was on the plate. And then on the flip side of that, once we did have enough money to like grocery shop, I am so thankful today for like the food in our pantry and in our refrigerator, that I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this amazing food. I'm so happy for it. Like, let's eat it. So a couple of weeks ago, I was like, you know, I'm an emotional eater. It doesn't matter what the emotion. Well, at the time then, I was caught stressing about how we were going to eat, that I was both, I was setting myself up with like bad habits. So not everybody, I don't want to drone on and on about like my eating habits, but not everybody wants to go see a therapist. But I'm telling you, if you find the right one, and it's a process because you're starting like a new relationship with somebody, and I have some referrals of like people who are really good sounding boards. So, you know, if you go to that mdwcares.com, there's, if you're local, I can also help you find one maybe out of this area. But that sounding board of somebody who's not emotionally attached to you can help you and reassure you that you're not crazy. I mean, we're all crazy. We all have craziness going on up here 24/7. But a way to unravel that and make some connections so that you can see that all the things that you have been through have affected the way you live today. And you don't have to feel bad about that, but you can make like some small changes to help you feel healthier. And then once I came to that realization yesterday about the food situation, I felt like this huge lightening of like my heart, and just I felt like, oh my God, I am not crazy. So, and then there's the science behind it too. Like, what does stress do? Like, what does chronic stress do to your body? Like, your cortisol levels are up, and then that causes A, B, and C, and D to happen. You know, there's so much science behind it too. Anyway, so what I'm saying today is invest in a therapist. That's self-care. Especially if you're just lost, you don't know what else to do. I'd say explore a higher power. Jesus is my friend. He just happens, God, that my idea of a higher power is one that is of love and humor and acceptance and like huge creativity. And that person, being, I call God. So invest in a higher power and invest in a therapist. You know, self-care has a different definition for everybody. Mine is typically sitting in a quiet room staring out the window. Maybe one day my self-care will be jetting off to a mountainside skiing with my girlfriends, but it's just not right now. And that's self-care. You know, if that's where you're at in your life, that's it. But, you know, self-care has different meanings for different people. So let's also not belittle people for what they consider self-care. Anyway, okay. Everybody take a big deep breath. Coffee. Good morning, Catherine. All right, girls, it is the day before Thanksgiving. Is everyone doing okay? Let's have a check-in. Who's hosting? I'm hosting. Don't freak out. If you can't clean all the things that you can't clean today, it's fine. It's okay. I give you permission not to clean your baseboards. If you're going to come in contact with somebody who you just do not get along, don't engage with them. It's not worth your peace, right? And if you have to leave early, just ghost out of there. Just leave. Say, oh, I'm going to have to go, guys. Why? Let's think of something good to say if you have to excuse yourself to leave. First of all, you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You know what? You can just say, I'm calling it a night. Where are you going? Why are you leaving so early? Oh, just calling it a night. Self-care. Happy Thanksgiving. See ya. And then just leave. I mean, seriously. Okay. Breathe today. If you have to go to the grocery store, which I do, be kind and patient with the checkers, with all the rest of the people who are in the grocery store who are frantically trying to do last minute things. Breathe and just be kind to yourself and be kind to someone else today. Okay. Thank you, girls. Thank you, Phil and Catherine. Catherine, scoot back and watch. I talked about like trauma and stress and therapists before this. So, all right, loves. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. I am going to check in tomorrow because I'm so thankful for everybody, and I'm sure I'll be up for 2 hours already. Yes, Catherine, say thank you to all the grocery store people. All you retail people, I have been there. I have worked retail in several capacities. Be kind to your local friendly neighborhood or not friendly neighborhood retail people. because they work hard. Anybody in service, restaurants, be nice to all those people. If they're crabby, say, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. I appreciate you. That goes a long way. Okay. All right, loves. I will see you later. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.